5 years ago, I was 25, as young, living in New York. I was making, pretty good money, but I felt like I wasn't gonna get any farther where I was at. And something had to change, something big. At that time, I was married with one kid, boy. I had never been anywhere outside of New York, so it was kind of like a big risk to take, this big move and say, okay, well, I'm gonna move my family, my wife and my kid, to this random place where, we have no idea what's gonna happen. And just kind of picked up and went. Well, I showed up in Las Vegas with no plan. I didn't know anybody, I'd never been here. I just kind of went. I started, reaching out to nightclubs and doing nightclub photography, making a lot of connections and networking. We started this nightclub photography company. We started taking pictures of tourists. So you'd be in the nightclub and we would take your picture and print it out for you right there. And at the height of it, we had 10 nightclubs, something like 12 photographers working on staff. Being in the nightclub industry, you party for free, you drink for free, and there's girls from all over the country who come there just to have a good time. Anything goes. I would recruit girls to dance in the strip clubs, and I would manage or take or whatever you want to call it. I would do what I wanted with their money. If a girl was doing really well, $1,000 a night, and I would provide for them. Obviously, if they needed clothes or food or whatever it was, that was taken care of as well. I was also sexually involved with them, I think it was part of the game is to make them fall in love with you and want to give you what you want, and it was a mind play, When girls got obviously fed up or tired of it, there was another girl, And most people, I think, they would think like, oh wow, like this guy is living like the life. He's in Las Vegas, he's partying, he's in big nightclubs and just having the time of his life. But no, it didn't feel that way after a while. My marriage at that time was destroyed. It was just horrible, separated from the kids. The bottom where I could say I really hit rock bottom was I remember one night, or one morning I should say, I can't tell the difference between morning and night sometimes, is I woke up next to this girl and I just felt this sickening feeling in my stomach, and I went into the bathroom. I remember looking in the mirror and looking at myself and saying, I'm this old, I'm living here, and this is my life, and this is not the dreams or the goals that I thought I would have as a young, 18-year-old kid in New York. Something had to change because I knew I was gonna kill myself or something. I knew that I wanted my family back though. She started, attending a church, and I followed her. I didn't necessarily believe the message they were, speaking, or really don't even understand it. Growing up in a household where God was never really spoken about, and if anything, I looked at religion in a negative way. But I just went. One time I heard this guy Vince speak, and he just delivered this message about the prodigal son, and it just struck me in my heart. It literally pierced my heart. That story of the prodigal son is so like Las Vegas, you have this treasure and you go and squander it in this city on wild living, wild partying and stuff. And that's what I did. I squandered my life, which is treasure, and still through that, I understood by the end of that message that Vince gave that he was still willing to take me back. I didn't necessarily understand the gospel, quote unquote gospel. I didn't necessarily understand these church terms, right? I just knew that I felt the most undescribable love that I've ever felt. I just started to shed away all these things that were, just clouding up my life. Everything from drinking to partying to women to even porn. My life started to transform over time and starting to become more selfless and to just give and want to serve God and serve others. And I've chosen to do that full time. So now I'm very involved with the homeless. We realized that one of the biggest needs for homeless folks, not only in Las Vegas, but nationwide, is socks. They walk everywhere. That's their form of transportation. And, for instance, this morning it was raining here in Las Vegas, and I knew I had to get these guys some new socks. Before receiving Christ into my life, I could care less about these people, or anybody at that. I can actually honestly look at these people and say I love them. Our relationship now is amazing. We have a brand new baby girl. Her name is Zoe. It means life. And it's awesome. We have our date nights. We talk more than we ever have. We read the Bible together, and it's like, I never thought in a million years that we'd be doing this, My bedtime is a lot earlier now. 2 years ago today, we renewed our vows and got baptized. We were the first people baptized here at Verve, right here at this hotel, in the jacuzzis. That's the real Las Vegas baptism story. Like, we have new life, right? It really does feel like that. Like, looking back 2 years ago, it's like that person was dead in that water, And it's like, really, like, the picture of baptism is just beautiful. Like, you go down, you're buried in this grave, and then you're resurrected, and it's like, looking back, like, that was a completely different person, And man, it's wild. I don't necessarily try to explain what happened to me, because it's something that's unexplainable, and that's what miracles are. The biggest testimony that I have is my life changed. This is who I was then, and this is who I am now. Something happened in the middle of that transformed me. And there's only one word that I can think of that it was, and that was love. We misuse that word all the time, love. I love this and I love that. We don't know what love is until we meet Him. We think we have to give up all this stuff, And it's all the stuff that we're holding on to because we think it makes us happy. But in the end, there's only one way. There's only one thing that makes us happy, and that's following Him, And it's like we can just let go, right? Let go of all the baggage, let go of the money, let go of even our family sometimes, and say, no, I'm gonna follow God. Take a chance, take a risk, like go out on that limb and say, God, I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, but I'm gonna jump out of this plane right now, and if you don't catch me, I'm gonna die, or I'm gonna, go through some pain, but it's worth it.